If I had to start from scratch as a music producer in 2025, this is exactly what I would do. The first thing is I would get good at production. Because at the end of the day, if your stuff doesn't sound good, it's not going to get used. So, how I would do that is I will learn the basics at least at first. And you don't need to be some master composer, you don't need to be Mozart or anything. You just need your stuff to be usable. So what I would do is I would watch videos and tutorials. There's so many out there now, so I won't give you exactly who I would recommend. But another thing is I would study and break down your favorite songs. So let's say, for example, how Sicko Mode was made. So I would search up like Sicko Mode FLP, and then I would watch. Aiden Kenway is really good at this. I would also, if Aiden hasn't done a video or if someone hasn't broken it down like word for word, I would watch remakes like this, for example. And then what I would do is every time like the chords would be shown on the screen, I would write down, okay, it's a C minor chord going into a D major. Then I'll write down, okay, cool, BPM is 105, key C minor. Okay, cool. It's just a 4 bar loop playing the whole time. It's got a lead, it's got a synth, it has a switch up. I would study everything. Then I would do the same thing for drums. Okay, cool. Where are the drums placed? Okay, normal 2 and 4. Okay, cool. Just 2-step hi-hat, open hat on the one, open hat on the offbeat, for example. And I would literally study it to the detail. And if I knew, okay, cool, the sound is in Omnisphere. What preset is it? Okay, cool. It's called the XYZ preset. Or if it's from a synth, okay, cool, the Prophet 5, whatever. And I would study it in so much detail. Then I'll take everything I learned and apply it like onto the next beat I made. So let's say I studied Sicko Mode and there was a synth used in the Prophet 5. Then I would open like a VST emulating the Prophet 5 and I would copy down the same chord progression. If it was like a 5-1 chord progression, for example, I would get down the chords. Okay, cool. They used 4 notes in that chord and they used this certain inversion. Then I would copy that, put it into my VST, change the pitch just so it's not exactly the same, and just come up with my own creation using it. That's how I felt was super fun. That's what I did, and it was super fun. And it also makes you learn a lot. And another thing is just to experiment, to have fun at the end of the day. Because if you're not having fun, then like, what's the point in really doing it? And the main thing is at one point you want to be able to send out samples because samples is a really good way to get first couple of placements. Because starting off with just doing drums is hard because everyone starts doing that. So if you start off learning and mastering samples, then you've got an edge. The next thing you want to do is create content because at the end of the day, content is king and you want to build a personal brand. So if I was starting out, I would probably document my come up. So I would just say like day one of being learning music production or week one, just whatever, just to show your personality and just get into the flow of creating content because nowadays so many producers don't make content. So automatically you just stand out. And another thing is I would have a good looking Instagram because at the end of the day, your Instagram is your portfolio. So if someone clicks on your page or someone finds your reels and they come to your page, that's going to be what's shown to the people. So this is just an example of mine. As you can see here, the first 3 posts are credibility posts, or like I've pinned them. Okay, like this guy's gets placements. I've got a decent amount of followers, not anything too crazy, but my ratio is good. You can see here, producer DJ, and I'm in London. So you can just see here, I'm posting my face, I'm posting content. So it's like, okay, cool. And then if you come up to Reels, okay, he's very active on social media. So that's just one good example. Another one, Mac, my brother Mac. Once again, 1, 2, 3, credibility post, posting photos of him in the studio, his kits and all that. So, and if you go to Reels, you can tell he's doing content as well and he's killing it. So, and one more final, my brother Steven as well, posting photos like fit pics, credibility posts once again. And if you don't have any like crazy placements, just like post photos of yourself just to show like people that like you are a real person at the end of the day. So going back, have a good followers to following ratio. You don't want to be following, you don't want to have 5 followers, but be following 50,000 people. That just doesn't look good. Another thing is to show your face. Once again, as you can see here, I showed my face. All 3 people that I did showed their face. So get rid of the anime profile picture. And when you post like beat snippets or anything, don't just post the screen recordings, make it look good. So I use Pinterest and I search up like trippy GIFs, aesthetic GIFs that you can use, and I just download it, put my song underneath, bingo bango, Bob's your uncle. So that's what I would do. And another thing is when building or creating content is to build a community, because at the end of the day, we are all human and so we want to be part of a tribe. So when you start creating content, you want to connect with your early followers, those who are showing love, and collab with them, build with them, because at the end of the day, the people that you connect with early on are going to be the people that you come up with. So you want to make those connections earlier. The next thing is what I did is to learn how to engineer, because the good thing about engineering is, number one, it lets you create some money, give you some income. Number two is connection with artists. And as you can see here, kind of leads me to my next point, placements. As Pierre, you guys probably don't know, you know this or don't know this, but this is actually how Pierre came up. He was Nudi's engineer for the longest. And then I think one time Nudi was just like, do you go beats yourself? And Pierre was just like, yeah. And he goes, damn, why didn't you tell me? And then now everyone knows that's Pierre and Nudi, and that's how they came up together. And another thing is experience of how to act and all that in the studio, because a lot of people, it might be their first time in the studio session. They might be nervous, they might not know what to say and do. So allowing you to engineer, you can kind of control the room, kind of get a gauge of like how a studio session runs. And obviously your first session is not going to be great. That's why I recommend just going to studio sessions first, then learning how to engineer. And you don't need to be a professional. You don't need to spend $15 trillion. You don't need to this is just coming from my personal experience. You don't need to do all of that. You just need to make the song sound listenable. It's going to get mixed anyway. So don't worry about tweaking. Oh, I've got to get rid of the 20 hertz while it's all doing that. And you take up like 5 hours of a studio session getting your template set up just for the artist to record one line in the 6-hour studio session. So you don't need to worry about that. If you have a good template, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So I use Kenny Beats, which I think was based off Alex Toomey's template, for years. I still do it now. I've tweaked it a little bit, but that's worked with me for so long. For the past 5-6 years of producing, it's worked wonders for me. So you don't need to be a professional to mix. Just start out, use that template. It's on Reddit. You guys can find it. I'm sure if you search up on YouTube someone's template, how to sound like Playboi Carti, you'll find a template that you can use. The next thing I would do is, I say this in every video, but network. Network is super key. So I would send out hundreds of DMs a day to producers, managers, artists, engineers, DJs, the artist dog walker, for example. I would just send messages out to everyone. I would just offer value, do something, be unique that stands out. I've got a full, as you can see here, I've got a full producer networking guide that you can get down in the first link in the description below. It teaches you everything from scripts, everything you'll need to network and make genuine connections. Plus, everyone thinks, oh, I need to stay inside all day. I need to be locked in my studio. I can't leave, which is stupid, because you need to leave. You need to get outside of the studio in your house. Go network at these events. That's how I met a majority of the people that I'm cool with now. Before I was in music, I was in fashion, and I would just go to all of these events, make these connections, who actually turned out to be in the music industry. So when I got into the music industry, it was just smooth sailing. So plus, if you're trying to meet an artist and let's say hypothetically you want to meet Travis Scott, do you think you're going to have a chance to meet him at his concert with 100 million people? But if you end up going to the after party, you end up finding a way there, you'd be able to network with him or DJ or his DJ Chase, for example. Obviously, this is an extreme example, but I'm just saying, in a club full of 200 people, it's going to be a lot easier to network compared to a concert with 5 million people, for example. So get outside of a house, leave your studio, go to these clubs and events, and network with the people there. One of the next things I would do is put my stuff online for free, because at the start, your goal is to have your music heard and work with more people. So by putting your stuff out there, the more people that use your stuff, the more chances you get at landing placements, getting songs, and all of that type of thing. So Kavi here is a really good example. Most of his songs come from the packs that he puts out, so his vocal kits and all of that. So Kavi is a great example of that. So what I would do is I would create, let's say you're an R&B producer and you create samples because that's what I told you to do for number one. You want to be able to do samples, excuse me. I would create like a pack of like 20 R&B samples that I think, oh wow, these are really good. I want to put them online. These are placement worthy. And then I would create a loop kit, put them out, put them on Instagram, put them on YouTube, put them on TikTok, put them wherever. Have like some ManyChat automation, DM me the word R&B and I'll send it to you or whatnot. And then I would collect their email. So then I could send them stuff myself, like daily, weekly loops or whatever, and just build that connection like that. Because as I said before, the more people use your stuff, the more chances you get at placements. And who knows, that one person you sent that R&B sample that he downloaded your kit might have a connection to like Drake or Party Next Door or one of these crazy people that he just found you off TikTok and he liked your stuff. So you never really know. That's the fun thing about music. You never really know what's going to get used and where it's going to go. And lastly, this is a bonus, but I would highly recommend everyone to do this. This is like a non-negotiable, is to spend at least 15 minutes a day learning about the business side. Like you could do all these steps, you could get 100 million placements you doing all this, but at the end of the day, you could get easily fucked over because you don't know the business side. So what I would recommend reading is All You Need to Know About the Music Business. I think this is a new edition, so it's revised and updated. So I would read that book. It's very big, so I wouldn't recommend reading it all at once. I would just read the specific chapters that stand out to you. So like music royalties. Okay, cool. What is a music royalty? It'll teach you everything about that. Okay, cool. How do I get paid? Blah, 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 blah. And then you can also go on Google, search it up, use ChatGPT to help break down complex terms like mechanical royalties, publishing, and all that. And get like draft templates of like legal terms or yeah, draft agreements, and then just study it and be like, okay, cool. This is what they were offering. Okay, cool. That makes sense. That makes sense. Blah, 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 blah. And get familiar with the business side, because at the end of the day, if you want to make this a full-time thing, you need to learn the business side and actually make this a full-time gig rather than just treating it as a hobby. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to know how I got my first placement in under 15 months of producing, be sure to check out this video.